confirmation of the town's acceptance of Mass General Law, Section 17C, establishment of 25 miles per hour speed limit in thickly settled or business district in city or town.
Yeah, so we discussed this in the bylaw committee, and we decided to recommend it with, how do you say it? Refer it positively, with the caveat that we create a bylaw that limits its application. So we're not asking you to vote on this to accept it today. What we're asking you is to refer it back to us to craft a bylaw that would allow us to establish a protocol where potentially certain streets could have their speed limits reduced if the residents so chose.
That if we were to accept this statute, that doesn't change anything that moment.
That's correct.
So you would then go to the bylaw, have that specifically crafted as to what streets. So simply accepting the bylaw doesn't automatically make the speed limit 25 unless otherwise
Accepting the
posted.
law, accepting the Mass General Law would
Mass
not
General.
do it. It gives several people the authority to do so, mostly Town Manager Borg, the authority to reduce the speed limit to 25 miles an hour in any thickly settled business district. So they could do it townwide unless otherwise posted, or they could specifically cite certain streets, is what we've seen other towns do. Our goal is to craft a bylaw that would establish a procedure. I don't know if you want to go into that, but basically what we would say is if someone, like let's say you live on a cul-de-sac or something, or not a cul-de-sac, because who speeds on cul-de-sacs, but some sort of residential neighborhood, and you thought the speed limit should be reduced to 25 mile an hour, you could petition Town Manager Borg via the Traffic Study Commission?
Traffic Committee on Advisory Group.
The Traffic Advisory
Yes.
Committee?
TSAG, Traffic Study Advisory Group.
There it is. That's what we'll do. So basically, the idea would be that you would then ask them, they would evaluate it and determine whether they thought it was appropriate to reduce the speed limit on your specific street. So there's the goal, again, is to give residents the mechanism to appeal without having to go to the state level, but it's not to establish it townwide. But to answer your question directly, no, even accepting this law wouldn't change anything today. It would just give Town Manager Borg and a couple other stakeholders potentially the right to reduce it without having to go to the state as well.
We want to make it extremely clear to the public, to the residents who may listen to this, we did not consider at all, based upon our conversation with Traffic Study Committee, Advisory Committee, and Captain Roy and Chief Coleman, we talked about all the issues that might arise. And we absolutely unequivocally do not want this to be construed as town-wide in any way, shape, or form.
I'd like to make a motion to refer to the bylaw committee for them to craft a bylaw limiting the scope of Mass General Law, Section 17C, as it applies in the town of North Attleboro.
Second.
Clarifying?
Clarifying? Okay, clarifying the scope? Clarify my motion.
And if the maker, I don't know if we need it, but I would have appreciated, I mean, maybe town manager has something to add to the discussion,
I
or?
have had several traffic issues that have come before us and that I have weighed and considered as the town manager. So I would be intimately involved with this process. I would be happy to come in and testify before this committee and talk through the process by which we already have in place that could be codified by a bylaw that allows public participation and seeks their input as a part of this. I think from the administration side, we're all on board with it and look to a bylaw to add, the firm process by which this would operate.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes 9-0. Thank you, Mr. Shanahan.